Alright, hey, what's up guys? How's it going? So kind of a different scene, right? This time I'm doing this video in the daytime, so a little change of scenery, hopefully that kind of helps keeping the freshness of these videos alive. So, as promised, today I will read chapter 2 of my senior project book, The Chronicles of the Universe. And we're going to start now. Since chapter 2 is kind of a bit of more of an exposition, this video will just be basically just me reading it and then explaining what's going on. I probably won't get into like the little pictures with the audio until like later on, the later chapter. So I feel for now I'm gonna do the reading the whole thing again, and hopefully you guys will be interested to know what's gonna happen next. So here's chapter 2. Finally called Alien Space a Continuation. So here's how it goes. It's been a month. A whole month has passed since I left, and I'm still stuck in this darkness known as space. It's not that I enjoy it per se. I mean, when you are observing nothing but flying asteroids and dark matter for days, it tends to be somewhat boring. I want to see some life, Give me a galaxy or two, and that will put me offhand for at least a couple weeks, but nothing. It's like I've been flying the same route over and over again, seemingly deja vu to say the least. And I just lost, here. Temperatures really haven't helped my job get any easier once I realized that my heating compartment was giving away, causing the ship to adjust to the freezing temperatures of the outside, and that had started to put a strain in my structure. Luckily, my body is auto-adjustable, which means I can adjust to any weather currently taking over my outside surroundings, and have my body simply get used to it. But that doesn't mean I'll prevent myself from acquiring the occasional shivers and a tinge of the cold shoulder here and there. I don't even know why I'm letting this weather get to me right now. I'm used to it, I think. Man, I'm sorry, it's not your fault. But after traveling for weeks on a spaceship with pretty much nothing to do to entertain myself, I do tend to get a tad paranoid, even though I consider it to be too much of a mature and sophisticated organism to just break down and start crying, and wishing I could come back home. Fair enough. No, I will not fail my loyalty to the government. I was ordered to carry out this operation, and I will finish it even if it means risking my life. I can't let my society down, and most importantly, I can't let you down, brother. Oh, brother. So perfect, so wise, so incredible. Grant me a pardon for ever thinking of backing down from my mission, and lead me the way to my goal, because I want to finish this assignment as quickly as possible so I'll be able to get home. Brother, show me the way. Show me the means to reach Earth as safely as I can, and along the way, guide me with your all-knowing presence. You are and will always be my leader and guardian of my soul. Lead me the way, brother. Lead me the way to victory, success, accomplishment. Show me the way to guaranteed happiness. So for now, what's going on here is that he's been flying this, code 3327 aliens been flying by. I guess he says it's been a month, and he has to get used to all this, weather changes, whatever goes on. I mean, then I think about it, they're in space. How can there be weather? But again, it's a fictional world that I created, so anything goes, I guess. And then he just says how he will not fail to brother's expectations because he's been ordered to complete this mission. The government has given up trust on him to do this mission, so he will do it regardless. On a side note, I just finished day 17 of my P90X3 workout. I did yoga today, so now I feel a little bit more flexible, I could say. But still working on it. Still working on it. A little time for the workout, but it feels good to read here to kind of recuperate the senses. Okay, so where were we? Alright, so to continue. Another week has passed. Everything's the same. Everything. As I look outside for what appeared to be a bright and shining light, I thought, is this it? Is there something out there now that just other space wasteland I boringly observed for the past 3 dawn-forsaken weeks? No. Just another comet. At least it wasn't just another asteroid trying to get in the way of my mission. I had expected the space to offer more variety and more difference in its appearance than just forcing me to watch nothing but complete darkness and flying stupefying asteroids, which I had officially cursed them to the deepest parts of torture and evil. They mock me. They know I am increasingly losing sanity. I'm not there yet, if that's what you were wondering, which I assume you did, but I was making a point in how much this ride has taken a toll on not only my physical health, of which I lost a couple pounds in the process, but also my mental side, which really hasn't gone pretty these last few days. I just wish I had my greatness pills from my cubicle back home that would have had me snap out of this in no time. I can still manage to survive without it and come back to normal like nothing happened. But it will take a lot of time and effort like myself in order to force the will on my body to become feeling better, much better than I ever felt before. Luckily for me, I rarely depend on those pills to help me get back to normal, although the taste and texture of the pill is really rather quite interesting and delicious as well. Scented as a red, beautiful rose that never lets me down, and the way it feels, it just feels right. Something I can say brother would have approved of. It's nothing special really. I would just feel better, that is all. Well, I'm gonna get some sleep right now, and I will catch up later and be on another time. Stay tuned. And I know last time, now looking back, that sounds kind of stupid, but at the time I thought that was great writing. That was so cool. So I went along with that. So with that, let's continue. So as he says, he's gonna go to sleep, and we'll see what happens when he wakes up. Now that was a good sleep. I feel much better now. Now, where were we in our conversation from the evening before? I don't remember either. It's been a long journey with no signs of Earth as I can see. It's not that I'm in a rush to get there. I pretty much have all the time in the world to get this done. But if I'm correct, the government did tell me I should have arrived a few days ago. Now that I'm starting to recollect my memory, I should have been to Earth by now, saving the world from destruction. By coming in there and discussing the issues of Earth with all inhabitants of the planet, even if it means discussing matters with those evil, selfish humans. They will receive no respect whatsoever once I arrive there and discuss our matters. It will be all straight talk, no messing around or building up to my ultimate goal. I will carry out my goal, and that is to stabilize the humans from completely destroying the entire planet by their own selfish greed. If they don't admit what they did was wrong and refuse to cooperate with me, I will simply, with the push of a button, receive an army of highly trained military personnel that will be quick to action and be ready to take onto the battlefield whenever the time of ready is to act upon. I can't wait. I have never been to Earth myself, so if you have to understand sometimes when I get a tad too excited about this. I've seen Earth in many of the books published by earlier patrons who have traveled to Earth themselves, and have written their experiences along while taking a few snapshots here and there to show their value and worth when they're in fact telling the truth, and not just looking for a quick publicity by pulling a fake stunt. Although these pioneers really never went to Earth and talked to the inhabitants there, they described how breathtaking and beautiful it was just to see it from space. It was unforgettable, and they usually go on to write that their lives get much better once they see the Earth for themselves. I wonder how that must feel like, to see another civilization at a distance, to see how the Earth interacts with the universe around it, and how it is able to cope with the ever-increasing changes in the galaxy. That would be such a great experience for me. Once I do get there, it will be my turn to taste the spotlight of success and become just like the pioneers before me. Wouldn't that be something? Oh, now look what we have here. It seems to me that we are heading right into an asteroid belt, and I assume we're in for a bumpy ride. Fasten your seatbelts, ladies and gentlemen, because this alien's going places. All to avoid the asteroids. Brother, watch over my safety and pray that I will make it safe and alive. Now, let's roll. So taking a little break here. So what's going on here is that he's just talking about how, there's been people before that have traveled to Earth, so this is like nothing new, but that his will be special because he'll be the first one to actually go into the Earth and talk to the inhabitants, whereas the other people that have gone before him just, passed by in space, maybe they were doing some other mission, and they just commented how good, how great and beautiful it looked from the outside. So now we go back to him and see what's going on. Whoa, that was pretty close, but I still have it. It seemed like a virtual visual stimulation project almost, dodging objects in your way to reach your ultimate goal. Wait, seems to me I haven't really gone over what a virtual stimulation is since I just brought it up, am I right? Okay, simply put, a BVT, to put into simpler terms, is what we use to pass the time whenever we get to a state in which our bodies begin to give way to the phenomenon that is called boredom. How do I describe it? And that boredom is pretty much a word that would describe a sad feeling told us by the government. You see, our people will turn to these nifty devices whenever we get to this state, which we might do at least once a month. All that this is that we connect long cords of wire and insert it into a ball of fluff, cotton made I think, and then place it on our heads by means of tape. Once we get this process done, we turn on this nifty device called the screen, which is the place where we will all be getting our boredom out of the way and be stimulated by virtual reality, you can say. What is played on this screen always depends on how much of these so-called stimulant discs one may own. Due to their inexpensive prices in our society, everyone has at least one stimulant disc to go along with the BBT, which everyone, except the government, own one of these nifty tools. I sometimes question myself as to why doesn't the government even bother using its own creation into good use for themselves. Then I always remind myself that maybe brother played a role. Maybe this is his way of staying in touch with us by creating from scratch these BBTs so the common people would have something just for themselves, and not from governmental leaders or anybody involved in government. I thank brother for caring so much about us and for taking some of his important time he must have devoted to doing other matters to create this for us. It means a lot when it comes from him, so I always feel proud to know we have a supreme leader who cares and adores the normal public. As for government, I guess brother thought these devices were only meant for us by the likes of us, hence the reason why I would never see any government individual take part in these BBT stimulation consoles. But still, I wonder, it just has me thinking, and oh boy, do I love thinking about the world around me just as much as I adore observing empty space in the universe with nothing to see but asteroids and dark matter. I just wish more things that were exciting would happen on this journey, because I'm just about getting sick and tired of waiting to arrive. Man, do I wish I was already there. It would be heaven for me to, once I see the Earth from its welcoming carpet and invite me to become maybe the first alien life form ever to visit Earth and discuss worldly matters and issues with the humans and animals that coexist together on this planet to see if a resolution can be achieved from all this violence, hatred, and insanity of protecting the environment from everyone and themselves especially. We will see eventually what can be done to protect the Earth from any more wrongdoing and explore our options as to reaching a peaceful resolution, because that's what I'm all about. Peaceful resolutions. And if that can be achieved, so much the better. I always say, I don't know how to put this, but I'm already tired again. Must be the boredom. And without my BBT on board with me, I got to the point where I will need some sleep to defeat this boredom problem of mine, and maybe once I get up, it will get better. And I'll be able to start talking nonsense. Like I always do. It was a joke if you didn't catch it there, buddy. Well, farewell, stranger, and I will report to the exact location next time. See you. Man, I have so many run-on sentences, it's unbelievable. But I mean, at the time I didn't catch that, I think I wrote these long sentences because I thought it made sense at 18. When I was 18, I felt these sentences made sense, but I guess, I was wrong. But anyway, let's move on. This one's going to be a short passage and I'll talk a little bit again. Feel much better now. Some rest was all I needed. No more board modes for me for a long while. I'll be good for probably the rest of the way. It does seem a bit colder than usual on the ship. Ugh, must be the heater malfunctioning again. I guess I'll go ahead and fix up while you may proceed to wait for the next intermission session. So again, this alien is still on the ship, waiting to go to Earth, and I guess now he's just talking about, maintenance issues, They brought up about the BBT, which is basically like a device that stimulates your brain and allows you to do certain things so you know you're not bored. So, as we continue, keep in mind that, he's been on this spaceship ride for this whole time. And he's probably getting a little bored. So let's see what happens next. It seems so unreal. I started thinking again, and boy, do I love doing that mess. It just came to me. It has been so long since I've been traveling on this spaceship, and yet And yet, aside from maybe a few spectacular moments such as a galaxy or a supernova here and there, nothing I have searched for can possibly correlate with the Earth itself. I have seen many meteors, comets, and asteroid belts. I have seen star upon star upon star, to the point where I wanted to just kill myself because of all this. Wait. Oh no. I just defamed my life on this universe. Please forgive me, brother. I didn't mean to act in such an irresponsible and irrational manner. I just lost my mind there. Please have mercy on my soul and do not take me from this planet. Please, whatever you do, just don't end my term. I will guarantee from this point that there shall be no more self-hatred, especially suicidal intentions. I'm not going to end my term given to me by brother just because I can't find some measly planet in the universe. That's blasphemy. Preposterous, unthinkable, and unacceptable at all. I will not do it again. You will have my word on it, brother. From the depths of my soul, not a word of suicide or the phrase kill myself will pass my mouth again. I promise. Oh, you are so kind, brother, and even after what I said, you still spared my life. Oh, how can I thank you, brother, for your kind and generous action? You are always so wise and so intelligent. I shall never despise the life you gave me. Never shall I do this again, and you can keep my word for it. I will now work even harder to prove my worth of life here by being more loyal to you and my government. I will carry out this mission and successfully accomplish it because I want to prove myself that I'm able to finish a mission and be proud to have carried brother's work. Long live brother and the government. If you will excuse me, I have much to do, so little time. So let's get started and bring this mission up to full scale. So for now, I guess he made a comment about saying how, this has all been all for naught, and he was just thinking of just, you can probably tell he might have done this just joking that he could, because people say like, I wish I was dead, fuck this stuff, you know how people joke around, and I guess, but this all comes from being indoctrinated and being brainwashed by a brother, or his government has been foretold, and, oh, excuse me, so, with this, you see into his psyche, you can understand why he's been conditioned to believe such, to believe what brother tells him. So it's not his fault that this is how he thinks. This is just how he's been raised, and what he understands is how he will survive in this world, and why he has to continue putting this ideology in place. So I do have one more section to read before this chapter is over, and honestly, so far it's just been him, his adventure, going to space and going to Earth, and what he wants to accomplish, and what his mission is. Now, I know it doesn't seem interesting so far, but let me assure you, there will be more characters later on, and there will be battles coming up. So hopefully, again, there's 20 chapters. I'm barely only finishing the second chapter, but again, just hang on with me. I know it seems kind of easy to doze off, but I promise that it will get better. It will get really good as the days go on once I read the later chapters. Oh, and there's more characters too, so it's not just Code 3327 Alien that's in this book. There are more characters as well. So here we go. I'm hungry. Nothing better to fuel the cells and make up my appearance by feeding them nutrients and minerals that will energize and give them energy to power you. So this is a win-win scenario for both of us. When I'm going to eat is considered a delicacy back in my society. I usually only eat this once a month because of its high value, and not everyone can afford to eat this once a month, let alone even buy at least one. So I feel lucky and proud I'm one of the only ones who is privileged to do so. The product I'm about to eat is like eating a full course meal, but if you thought it was a pill, then you're already wrong from the start. It's actually a white paste that I have to squeeze really, really hard from a soft container that contains the paste that I will consume in. That's pretty much the only reason why I don't like the product at all, because I need to put in some effort, and it gets tiring after a while to try and eat every paste of it. But I have to admit, the rewards and benefits of what this paste does to my body is astounding. Once you eat the paste, and you start feeling a sense of happiness, calmness, and peacefulness. Almost like a euphoria style of ordeal, where you just feel great and better all around yourself. It's like being hypnotized in a peaceful yet trance-like state where you feel no pain, no signs of weakness, no crying, no depression, nothing. It feels like you have just been released from government prison, and from that point on, you start feeling better than when you become a better citizen by helping those all around you, because that is what will ultimately benefit you and give you a better reputation from not only the people, but from the government and brother himself, which in turn, once your term is finished, you will be recognized in a positive way in front of all of society to see. Seems like I got a little off topic there, didn't I? Well, my apologies for that. Now, where was I before I got off this topic? Oh yes, about the effects of the paste in the body. Well, to summarize it, it makes you feel better, and you recover much faster because of what the paste does to my body. It replenishes your cells and makes them stronger while reproducing more and more cells to keep my structure intact and at full strength. It's called the BH paste, or better health for longer terms. Because of its healing and recovery values, it makes it such a sought after item, hence the reason why it is so expensive and beyond reach for most. But luckily, I had this given to me by the government just in case I wanted to kill my cravings for anything hunger related, and so forth. Now, I'm pretty sure you have been wondering and pondering this question since we met, and I'm fully prepared to have the mindset of answering the question in order to get this off my chest. Did I ever have a job, and if so, where did I work? Well, was that the question you were seeking? That is exactly what I thought. Well, to answer your question, I was a poet. Yep, I said it straight out. I made money writing and printing poetry for society. I loved writing poetry. It It was something I could just never stop doing. It was an addiction. I always had to describe something I saw as breathtaking and beautiful because I felt I had the duty to this world, to express the world's inner beauty to the rest of society and show them how much it can be writing some of their own poetry. Unfortunately, they eventually decided they would just read poetry from other people and pay money for the privilege and right to do that and write their own, which in a way I was fine with it, knowing I was going to be overflow with money and cash because I was able to successfully make writing that was so out of this world and so different from the books or official governmental library we have back at home, where all the information is pretty much statistics and factual information. Nothing is ever different. If the government releases a new book, it always has to do with statistics and how much of this and how much of that is going on in our society. Oh, excuse me, sorry. There is virtually nothing else that relates to what I'm doing. I guess this is why people come to me to read something new, something fresh and alive, not dead, boring and set in stone and not open for any thinking at all. This is why I became a household name. I would walk down the street and people would yell at me and say, "Hey, that's the poetry person. Hey, can you sign the poetry I bought for you?" Typical questions, but I none of them would care. I happily signed all those autographs and it always made them smile. I guess I'm like some sort of hero to them. Funny to think about, actually. Well, it's time for some sleep. I will catch you up later and analyze this a little further than we did today. It's now time to rest, take care, and see you again soon. And so that's chapter 2. So, to summarize this last portion, it's kind of a big portion. He just talks about how, he keeps himself healthy, and he gets this white paste called the BH, in which apparently it's a delicacy, it's rare, and it's only given to, people that have money or that have close ties with the government. And supposedly this helps you, release or relieve all your hunger issues and all that. But I guess it's something cool like that. I imagine it's kind of like a drug. It could be, you could say maybe it's like a drug for the high-ranking officials. It's kind of like rich ass, cocaine. I don't know. So I don't know what the drug dealio is. And then he just ends on saying that he was a poet, and that was his job, his career was a poet, and he would sell his poetry for cash. And so now he's in a situation where he's going to Earth to fulfill a mission for his government. And at this point now, he's going there still, and we will find out what happens soon. So that's the end of chapter 2. And I just want to say thank you very much for joining me in today's reading. And I will see you guys next time for chapter 3, which simply says a conversation, which should be a bit more changing worthy than what has been the first 2 chapters, which has been pretty much just basic exposition, building up the story up for what's to come later on. So thank you for joining me very much on today's episode of the Chronicles of the Universe, chapter 2, and I will see you guys later on. So I hope you guys take care, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your Friday. Take care.